What's up, friends? I'm Josh, and welcome back to the TCNR Network, where today we're talking a little bit more about Scream 2022 and what I think it's going to be about. And I'm not talking about the plot or the script. I think it's a lot deeper than what we're expecting. Before we get to it, because I think I'm a bougie bitch, cheers, happy Memorial Day, because Memorial Day is all about drinking, right? Now, I know it's been a minute since I've been back and been talking about Scream. There hasn't been a lot of updates, few little things here and there, but I've been working on some amazing content for you guys that I am so excited about. I don't want to say too much about it yet, but it's called Welcome to Woodsboro, and it is something I, as a Scream fan, have wanted my whole life to see, and it doesn't exist. So I was like, well, screw this, I'm going to do it myself. I'm putting a lot of time, a lot of effort, a little bit of a budget into it. It's not a fan film, just so that I can make something really dope for you guys. So I'm excited. Before I get into what I think Scream 2022, aka Scream 5, is about, make sure you guys like, you subscribe, you leave me your comments down below. If you're in agreement with me, if you disagree with me, let's get that conversation going. But of course, subscribe. Duh. So basically, when we found out about Scream 5, Scream 2022, I'm just going to call it Scream 2022, okay? Scream 2022. The new creators, the men of the Radio Silence team, right from the get-go, said it is a love letter to Wes Craven. And I would imagine also Kevin Williamson, seeing as he was the writer. So that really stuck with me. You know, Neve Campbell's done a few interviews in which she says that they wrote her this really great letter. We've heard about that letter a million times. It just gets my wheels turning. So I was like, if it's a love letter to Wes Craven, what could they do to obviously upgrade the franchise, pay homage to him, to really just like round things out? And so what I think has happened is they've went back to the previous films in which things had to be changed due to leaks, due to script rewrites, due to the higher-ups, you know, agreeing or disagreeing with what Kevin had written, or, you know, maybe reshoots, and incorporating the details that Wes and Kevin intended for Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4 that never came to fruition into Scream 5. Does that make sense? Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna break it down anyway. So the original Scream was the original Scream, 1996. As far as I know, everything went off without a hitch. So there weren't any, you know, rewrites or any crazy things that happened. So we're just going to jump right ahead to Scream 2. Now, in Scream 2, we know that there were a few dummy scripts, there were a few rewrites, there were a few things that were intended to happen that didn't happen. So there are mixed messages here, so, you know, don't take my word for it 100%. But the original killers for Scream 2, spoiler if you haven't seen it, you crazy, but the original killers for Scream 2 were Derek, Sydney's boyfriend, Hallie, Sydney's roommate, Mickey, Sydney's friend, and Mrs. Loomis. There was also another script that was just Hallie and Derek and Mrs. Loomis, no Mickey involved, and then Cotton gets involved in the very end, as he did in Scream 2, but he ends up killing Sydney and shooting Gail and just all this crazy stuff. So I think they had the best friend and the boyfriend, right? The boyfriend being the killer again, and the best friend. People very close to Sydney. So I definitely think that the killer, or one of the killers in Scream 5, is going to be someone extremely close to Sydney, and somebody that we're not going to expect. And for some reason, I keep coming back to Dewey, because we all think he's going to die, and that his death is what's bringing Sydney back to Woodsboro. But if you recall, in one of my previous videos, there was this random review that came out of somebody that had seen a screening or a test screening of Scream 2022, and there was a moment, a bait and switch, where everyone gasped. I think that Dewey is going to die and then be revealed that he's been involved all along. So that's just me. I'm here for it. I hope that happens, because I will freak out. Moving on, Randy dies in Scream 2, and nobody wanted him to die. I know they did it because we loved him, but I think they're going to bring him back in several ways, whether it's another video of his, whether it's via his family connections. There's so many ways that they could bring him back. And I think there's going to be some special parts devoted to Randy in Scream 2022. Also, Joel was intended to die in Scream 2. Joel was Gale Weathers' cameraman, and he didn't. He got in his cab and he said, peace out, I'm out of here. But recently we found out that he is involved in Scream 2022. So I'm thinking if he's involved, it's because they're going to finish him off how it was intended in Scream 2, right? And the last little tidbit is that at the very end of Scream 2, when they're like pulling away from Sydney, she's walking out into like the courtyard of the school, there was supposed to be a ghost face standing in the bell tower to hint that stuff isn't finished, you know? It's not all done. There's another killer out there. And that's what makes me think that, you know, that was beyond Roman. That was somebody else that was involved. I really think that there is another killer that was helping Roman, working with them, that was with Billy, Stu, Roman, and somebody else, a fourth killer that was planning all of this stuff. And they're going to reveal that in Scream 2022. Moving on to Scream 3, which is kind of the most important one for me, the one where a lot changed. At one point, Wes Craven said that Stu was supposed to come back. Stu was apparently going to be revealed to be leading this Ghostface cult from within a prison cell, and I don't know if he was ever going to escape. You know, there's not a lot of information about it, but that was one of the concepts and one of the ideas that was being thrown around. And now I listen, whenever I talk about this stuff, Stu and Kirby returning, people go buck wild. Wes Craven said it, not me. Don't kill the messenger. I am just reminding you that he said it, and that was what was intended. So beyond Stu returning, which I really think is a high possibility for Scream 2022, this Ghostface cult that he was supposed to be leading. It was actually supposed to be a bunch of students from Woodsboro that were making like a fake killing spree that throughout the movie they die off and Sydney walks in at the end and they're all still alive. It was a spoof. It was basically like Punk'd, but the murdery version. So that was a very interesting twist, and I really believe that they're going to do something like that this time. I believe that in Scream 2022, a lot of these characters are going to be involved. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 4, 5, 6, 7 different killers if they're not doing actual killings. I think it's going to be a lot deeper than we think, and I think the children of Woodsboro are just deciding to really go ham and embrace their murderous history. Now, my last point for Scream 3 is Angelina. She was supposed to be revealed to be one of Sydney's old classmates from Woodsboro, as well as Roman's girlfriend. She was supposed to be assisting, and she was killed off. I mean, it was a very fake, dramatized looking kill, as all the kills were in Scream 3. And don't kill me, but I really dig Scream 3. As a matter of fact, I might watch it when I'm done filming this. I believe that they are going to revisit that concept and reveal that someone was involved with Roman and helping him out, somebody close to Sydney or that went to school with Sydney. Judy Hicks. I would not be surprised. She's weird. She's quirky. She's probably a red herring, but at the same time, like, it's pretty obvious. And I think they might reveal that she knows more than she's letting on. Moving on to Scream 4, there's only one thing that I think they may revisit. Of course, it is Kirby. As I've said in previous videos, Wes Craven said that Kirby was alive. That was left ambiguous. That was left to be open-ended. We saw her moving. They never really talked in too much depth about it, you know? I mean, if she was alive, maybe Dewey would have told Jill that she was still alive, just like he told Jill that Sydney was still alive, or maybe they hadn't found her in the backyard yet. Maybe she had crawled inside and like was trying to take care of her wound. I don't know. There's so many options, but I would not be surprised if Kirby is alive, and I do hope she is. I hope that they're bringing back these different characters from all these films to finish off what was started. I want them to bring back Joel and kill Joel. I want them to bring back Kirby and kill Kirby. I want them to bring back these characters that we all know, but it's like, you can't just not talk about them again. Like, when's the last time they really talked about Tatum? Tatum was Sydney's best friend and Dewey's sister. They allude to it here and there, but it's like, wouldn't you be a little bit more harmed by that? You would be so much more dramatic about it. Like, I want to see their struggles and their hurt and their pain and feel their characters' growth in terms of their PTSD. Anyway, on a tangent yet again. But basically, I think they're just going to revisit Scream 1 through 4. pick the different pieces that were originally intended, the different ideas, the different concepts, and they've melded it into what will be Scream 5, aka Scream 2022, by bringing back all these different characters, all these different concepts that didn't quite go off without a hitch, and learning from the previous mistakes, shall we say. Let me know what you guys think. Am I just crazy? Or is this something that could actually happen? And if it does happen, are you looking forward to it? Is there anything you want them to revisit? Is there information that I don't know? I know there's plenty of scripts that I have not read. Make sure you comment down below. Let's talk about it. I'm really, really curious what you guys think. Like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at True Crime Nursery Rhymes, on TikTok and Twitter at TCNR Network. Visit my website, truecrimenurseryrhymes.com, for all of my fun merch in my book, True Crime Nursery Rhymes. Until next time, I'll be right back.